Senate Bill 77. What's this do?
Senate Bill 77, this has to do, a few years ago, you all enacted a provision specifying that state contracts wouldn't include certain provisions. And since then, there's been a few instances where you've needed to kind of carve out either certain circumstances or certain units. This is one of those bills. This is a bill that would exempt from this provision the Department of Commerce's Office of International Trade. The testimony, I think, in response to one of the questions at the hearing is they deal with international contracts. And so the some of the provisions that are prohibited under this clause are problematic for the types of contracts that they regularly do in the course of their operations. So this would exempt them from that provision.
So it exempts just Department of Commerce and just for those international?
Correct. State contract entered into by the Office of International Trade and the Department of Commerce relating to the development of international business activities and opportunities.
Okay, everyone understand this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Your voice was the loudest and clearest.
Okay. I can do it.
All right. 109.
I want no whispering during the vote titles anymore. This is Senator King.
All right, ready? Senate Bill 109 is a local bill that expands the eligibility for a property tax deferral program in Anne Arundel County by including members of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and U.S. Public Health Service. The bill applies to taxable years beginning after June 30, 2026. There is one amendment. The amendment adds co-sponsors. There was no opposition at the committee hearing, and there is a local letter of support.
All those in favor? Opposed? Senator Stallings. Okay, 194.
Senate Bill 194 is a bill that clarifies the definition of active military. It now includes space service, making it the same as the federal meaning in the U.S. Code. There is an amendment for the bill. You should have a reprint on your desk. The amendment basically just makes technical changes to the bill. And there is also a request for co-sponsorship.
Okay. What was the fiscal on this?
There is no fiscal.
No fiscal. Oh, that's right. This is a, yeah,
It's just making the
property tax. This, so it is local? It's
No,
everywhere, though. It's statewide.
Correct.
Okay,
It's just fixing the definition.
gotcha. Okay. Does anybody else want to be on this bill? 1, 2. Okay. I always thought you were a little spacey. Editing. Yeah, you like the dad jokes, don't you? Okay. All those in favor as amended? Opposed? Okay. Senator Bailey. Okay, let's skip to 403.
Senate Bill 403 is a bill that exempts PTA fundraisers for school book fairs from the state sales and use tax.
Little apple pie here.
Really?
All right. All those in favor? Opposed? Co-sponsors? Apple pie lovers, raise your hand. Senator Bale, you don't want to be on this? No, I'll be on. I thought so. I thought you might. Yeah, oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, she would have been after you. All right, and we voted on that, right? Do we vote on that? Yeah, okay. All right, 405, 450. I think we did, yeah. Ready?
Senate Bill 450 is a local bill that authorizes the Carroll County Office of Permits and Inspection to deny the issuance or renewal of a commercial license or permit if the applicant has unpaid personal property taxes. The bill provides an exception for that authorizes the office to not deny the issuance or renewal of commercial license or permit if the applicant submits satisfactory evidence disputing the amount of unpaid personal property taxes. I noticed an issue with a technical issue with the purpose paragraph, so there's one amendment, just changing a couple words in the purpose paragraph. There's no opposition at the committee hearing, and there is a local letter of support.
All those in favor as amended? Aye. Opposed? I'll do it. All right, 895.
Senate Bill 895 needs to be re-referred to Triple E. The bill establishes a school mapping data program in the Department of State Police.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, all right. So let's talk about 281. Tell us all about it.
Senate Bill 281 is a bill that establishes a third grant in the amount of $150 million to the Washington Suburban Transit District to pay the capital costs of WMATA. It repeals the requirement that the standard grant be annually increased, and instead the new $150 million grant would be increased annually. It's all contingent upon an agreement between the three localities. They would have to do the same thing, the District of Columbia as well as Virginia.
So I'm trying to visualize a chart in my head, and maybe we just need one at some point. We've been working on this for a number of years, you all know, and we want to make sure that it's supported correctly, but I want to make sure we understand everything that we're doing. And when you say the third sort of iteration or grant, I'm trying to figure out why it is we have after, and what else of the grants that we have already done, how many of those are still active, and are we playing into them, and how does that all work together?
There are two grants, both in the amount of $167 million.
Two grants at 167. One?
One at the 167. Right.
And does that happen every year? And that happens every year out of? Okay. And so essentially, does it pay, essentially general funds? Yes. Okay. I mean, we had done it from different places in the past, as I recall, didn't we?
Yeah, it was, the legislation wasn't specific, correct, as far as like where it had to come from. And so it has moved around a little bit,
That's-
including this year.
Right, yeah, and I'm kind of trying to follow the bouncing ball on this too. And maybe we do need to get a chart on it eventually, because maybe my head won't, I can't wrap it around the whole thing, we'll see. And maybe others have got this and I don't, but I know you have
I
it.
doubt it.
Huh?
I doubt it.
So, but why don't we keep going from there? So that,
Yep.
the 167 that was passed in 2018 is annual and currently is done with general funds, general fund pay-go. Okay, what else we got?
The second one was, I have 167.7.
There was my numbers are different than that. I mean, that is the combination of the historic number plus the associated PRIA dollars, which is the federal dollars. Is that where you're getting that one from? So the historic ones, which are from our capital funding, I think were closer to like 100. And
So
then the
this
PRIA,
is capital money,
this is capital.
100?
Yeah.
And when did this start?
That's just been the historic contribution that's been a part of the.
Before we started getting
Yes.
extra engaged in
And
this.
and the reason for the reason for the initial set was that the WMATA basically the infrastructure, we were not keeping up with keeping it upgraded in a state of good repair.
Right.
And at the time, even though there was that amount that was going there, it just was a Band-Aid and it wasn't actually getting us to a state of good repair, which is the reason for the additional part, that the additional 167, which was the agreement from the
And the
jurisdiction.
167 is 167 from each of the entities.
It's a 500 million for the entities, and each of the entities have a
certain amount.
apportioned amount. This is Maryland's apportioned amount. The other amounts are also paid by the others, like DC and
In
Virginia.
Virginia, right.
Yep.
And was the 100 proportionally split?
It's also same thing, like that's the proportion on our historic operating cost. We have an operating cost, and then we have a historic capital cost. That's the historic formula-based dollars.
Okay, so that's Maryland portion is 100.
Correct.
And then there was some federal dollars that were added into that for some reason? Is that what you're
It's
reading?
our portion of the federal PRIA dollars, but they are federal dollars that are associated with WMATA, but they're federal dollars, they're PRIA dollars.
They come through us?
I believe that they do.
The 100 or to get it up to 160? Because
Yeah, it's the other 50, in essence, historically speaking.
is our federal dollars.
Yep,
And that's capital also, because it goes with that.
yep.
Okay.
PRIA dollars, those federal dollars can only be used for capital projects. They are restricted, they can't be used for operating costs. That's just like federal policy for the last 30 years.
And that's still happening.
Oh, yeah. Although
Right.
it's under threat every single time, this is something that we have to always try to get with the federal government.
Right, and I just wanted to,
Yeah, it's always, it's
particularly
there.
now I'm asking.
Yeah,
the
it's
question.
there, but it is always under threat.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Senator?
Yeah, my question is this way, I just should remember, why is this general as opposed to transportation trust fund? Is that just a decision?
We just
made?
didn't, it wasn't made specific. I think sometimes it has
It
come out of
was,
there.
yes, it has been.
It has come from there, but it
Certain years.
wasn't, they provided certain flexibility
So the
such
laws
that,
can come from any place.
correct, by the law part.
And
But by
so,
practice, it has come from both,
I think it
depending
was
on
in
the
an
impact.
effort to take pressure off the Transportation Trust Fund for other projects.
right, that makes sense. Or not?
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, I understand. It's only a sort of.
Yeah. But
So
so,
you could have given Transportation Trust Fund the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, but I guess my question is, so now, or the past couple of years, or this year's budget, or this bill, doesn't presuppose transportation trust fund or general fund?
It does not.
This bill doesn't
That's
change
the
that.
idea, is again,
Okay.
not to be prescriptive on.
Okay.
Okay.
Where?
So,
Got one more
Go
question.
ahead, yep.
But then for this year's budget, where is it?
Right. That's where we are. I think we're there now.
This year's budget, Craig, for those dollars, I think I saw the governor moved it.
I think it's mostly Tego. I'm double checking.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think
Sure
it's
it's not
not,
CEF?
it's not TTF.
No, it's definitely not TTF. I think it's still Waltego, but I'll double check.
But
It says
Go ahead.
capital.
It says capital? How much is that?
It's still 167.
Yeah,
Still-
it's still one.
In the current year budget, not this bill, but
What about this bill?
this bill, again, it's not prescriptive and it wouldn't start till 2029.
So in 2029, we get, how much more is brought into the play?
It would be proportional. The way it's set up, though, it's showing it as 150 million. And the reason,
Roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need, like,
it's not right. But I do want to say, though, like the reason, though, like, because we just haven't talked, we're talking about the dollars, which makes sense to get a sense of what the dollars are.
Yep.
But there's the reason, too. And the reason is that obviously costs have really escalated a lot. So, and it just hasn't kept up with that. The purpose of what you all did in 2018, I was on the board at the time, was to create a bondable amount of dollars. And WMATA then used that bondable amount of dollars
Yes.
to bring forward a lot of those state of good repair projects,
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
such that the reason for this is because it's all now debt service. So basically, there's nowhere left to go come 2029, 2029. We might be able to push it out a little bit, but it's, in essence, at that point, it's all the dollars are caught up in the debt service from what has
All
already
the
been done.
$167, which are
Is going,
general
will have to
funds
go
or
to
operate
debt
is
service.
which makes sense.
Exactly.
I get that.
And that's the reason why, if to continue to have capacity then to make necessary upgrades for state of good repair, there needs to, in essence, be an additional pot of money.
Okay, and so by 2029, we will have the one sort of debt service program rolling at 167.
Yes.
And we will have two programs at about 150 million
Yep.
running capital. And that capital is going to be supported, the debt service on that capital is going to be supported through our program, as opposed to the money being used from the first program is being used to support that part of the capital. How much actually was raised in the first program? You know that answer?
I
It's gotta
don't
be in
have it off the top of my head, but it's
billions.
it's billions, and that's a great number. I definitely get it to you.
Okay.
But it was the billions
Right.
that were raised, which is where we're getting to that point of.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, if you're spending 160, well,
No, we spent,
if you're spending
so the
500
program was
million-
$2 billion a year.
Right,
So
if you-
that's the
right.
thing. So it was a $2 billion a year program.
Right.
It wasn't 500 million.
Yeah.
It was 2 billion, but it was bonded out on the others. So it's like
somehow
2 billion.
you had a total of $2 billion of cash
Yep.
to pay debt service.
We had 2 billion of cash that was, we bonded for that, used the 2 billion for the state of good repair projects. It's to come and due,
Yeah.
basically. So it was over the course of this 5-year period, like that back of the envelope, you know what I mean? It's like at 2 billion. That's like 10 billion, basically.
Yeah.
That was invested in getting it up to a state of good repair. But then now it's paying for it.
Right. But the
It's paying for the
next set-
debt service.
But the next set of money, like the second set of money, is going to be paid for out of our own program.
Yeah,
It is
yeah, that's
our
right.
capital,
That's correct.
100, and then 150.
That is correct.
And the 50 is just
Pass through.
pass through. Everybody following this? Enough that you need to? Okay. Senator Zucker.
Yeah, so last year, my recollection was that all 167 was PAYGO. This year, it looks like it's all GO.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Go ahead.
All I was going to say was, I can see the evidence of it in the escalators working at the College Park Metro stop.
Yeah,
Well, for this bill.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad it is available to you.
yeah.
Senator Edelman.
Senator Zucker, the 150 comes out of GO this year in this bill?
No, this bill, there's no impact. This bill doesn't
Not until
start
29.
until 29.
Right.
This is just an explanation of current investment in WMATA. But this thing doesn't start till 29, and it's contingent on the others 2 jurisdictions as well.
Right.
And we're steadily, I'll just share with you all, we're steadily negotiating with, we are negotiating with Virginia and with the district and with WMATA to say, okay, sharpen your pencil also. Let's see if this is, what can we do going forward. So that's the conversations that we're having right now with them, because it is contingent and they don't run out, like I said, get over to the debt service until that 29 timeframe. But it's just getting the framework in place in order to be positioned and for us to then be in place come 29.
So to that point, how do we know what we're getting for that additional 150 million?
They have given us a set, and I will have them send again, what the deliverables are. I mean, there's a steady sort of pace of maintaining the signal system is extremely old. There comes a point where you just, certain infrastructure pieces that got to be replaced. So there's that. And then, of course, just the ongoing of the, rail cars and other things. But we'll get you the actual information about what is to come from. But the biggest one really is that signal system it needs to be replaced.
Right.
Which just controls the systems.
So if they're sharpening the pencils, as you said.
Yes.
What happens, which is hard to believe in our world, but what happens if they come back and say, your portion is really 125? Does this legislation,
We have to change it.
we'd have to change it, or it's not, is it authorizing the 150, or is it authorizing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's correct.
Does it authorize
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
agreed-to amount?
You're right. No, that's correct.
Okay.
That's right. It is, you're absolutely correct. It is set up such that it's on up to your point, and it's on the proportions. So if the other jurisdiction,
Yep.
like you said,
Yep.
I stand corrected.
Got it.
Like with what you were saying, that is the case.
I got it.
Yeah, yeah.
This was, anybody else have questions? This was really helpful to me. This has been a curiosity to me for a number of years.
I'm sure.
And
Yeah.
I think mostly understood along the way, but this was very helpful.
I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, the big picture is, of course, we just, the biggest part is the getting, we used that dedicated funding, which is great, to move a lot of that, which had not been done, by the way. The whole thing was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
had just been neglected for so long, which is the problem.
Yeah.
So all that neglect getting brought forward, but now you still do have to maintain the system. It's a huge economic driver, obviously, for Prince George's and Montgomery and the surrounding areas. So,
Gotcha. Senator Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I do understand, and I, have occasionally been up there, and I've seen the system, and I understand that we've got to put things together when we talk about these numbers. And I just think about, at home, and I look at, the Thomas Johnson Bridge, and I look at the neglect of that bridge and what we have to do there and the amount of money that we have, and it's just like, it seems like we just keep kicking that can further and further and further down the road, and at some point in time, we have to address a couple projects like that one. And I just wanted to put that out in the committee.
Like the nice Middleton Bridge?
The nice Middleton Bridge is great, and it definitely benefits the residents of Virginia coming into Maryland. But the residents, we have more.
Yeah, I understand.
Right, we have more people that utilize the Thomas Johnson Bridge than the.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Senator McCray.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, Senator, I know that a lot of times when we're thinking about transportation, we're trying to figure out the funding mechanisms. Have we figured out the funding mechanism for the third grant that's being established?
It seems to me that it would just be out of our capital budget. So it would be funded just like any other capital project in our budget.
That's the way it's currently set up.
So it will take up maybe up to $150 million of capital funding
Have you guys discussed
on an annual basis.
a mechanism outside of the capital, outside of just general
Not
obligation?
in 2018, it wasn't, we're just following the same playbook that was done in 2018, where that was not a part of it. It was identify the need and then provide the flexibility to the jurisdiction to figure it out. So no, we haven't done that.
Okay.
So just to follow up, so I understand too, we're talking about almost $500 million on an annual basis ad infinitum?
To all three of the, yes.
That's Maryland.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
The
no,
first
since
160
2018.
The first 167 on an annual basis is paying for the flow of, so how many years are the bonds? 20 years? 25, 30 years?
Yeah, I think there was a mix of them, but I do believe that that's.
So a 20-year bond. So that will end there
After 20 years.
after 20 years.
Okay, and
And that will have
then-
gotten that state of good repair part
Catch on.
Yep.
done.
Right.
The other ones will each have their own 20 years as those they're bonded every year.
Yep.
So yes, and that'll start a flow that, yes, would go on for
Right.
who knows how
But I
long.
just,
Yeah. No, I'm
When it gets
with you.
like, we're
It's
talking
important to
about
understand,
a lot of money.
absolutely. This is
Yeah.
what we need to do. That's
Yeah.
why I wanted to have this discussion. Because it's a lot.
It's
to-
significant. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And it's also extremely significant to our economic vitality in Prince George's and in Montgomery and in Frederick and in Charles. And I mean, this is infrastructure that supports the economic vitality of that part of the state. Also, it's also where the economic development is. This is a growth mechanism. Or a significant amount of the growth happens around the metro sites, significantly so. It's also a way that we're able to draw and keep people who want to be about transit and development. So it's really critical to our state.
Other questions? Pretty interesting. We'll sit on this a little bit and think
Yep.
about it, and
Perfect.
you get
Yeah.
some information for us, and,
Thank you.
yep. All right.